I want to take you through some of the features of the most commonly talked about AI general assistant tools. I'm sure you've already heard of OpenAI's ChatGPT, one of the most popular tools that people use today. There's also Anthropic's Claude, which is very capable at writing and coding. We have Google Gemini, which is known for having great memory and being a good all rounder. And we also have Microsoft Copilot, which will be very familiar to people who are already using Microsoft tools. Now, all of them work for free, and you can give them a test to see if you like the user interface, if you like the types of results that you get back, and the functionality that is offered to you as part of the free service. But I just want to have a note of caution here, and this is what this table is trying to show you. A lot of the features further down in the list become available when you're on the paid plan. So in our top row here, we're talking about around about $20 a month to access the paid plan. And what that gives you is a better model usually. So it's their very best and their very latest research. The model is the brain behind it. So it gives you really good responses. It's often faster and it often has new features and functionality, which we can talk about a little bit more shortly. The other thing as well is there's additional functionality that's not available in the free plan. And there's lots of really cool things that are available to you if you do decide to invest. So if you're thinking about taking that next step, you've started to dabble, but you're not sure how to progress, I would strongly recommend choosing a tool to actually upgrade, because that then gives you access to what they call the frontier model. So the best and the most up-to-date models that are out there. And these are quite often changing on a monthly basis sometimes, but certainly there's usually a good update a couple of times a year at the moment. And when you're on the paid plan, you normally get access to that much quicker than if you're on the free plan. The other way that they might restrict you is that you only have a few answers that are that higher quality level, and you'll hit limits more quickly on the free versions of these tools. So it's definitely recommended to pick your favorites. But if you only have $20 to invest, which one would you go for? Well, a lot of people won't go far wrong by choosing ChatGPT, and you can see there's lots of green ticks in that first column. It is very capable. It's like having a Swiss Army knife. It can do most things that you would want to do or to try, and some of them are really quite powerful now. So the Plus plan is what I'm on, and it gives you access to two really, really exciting things. One is called custom GPTs, and that's where you can create your own personal, almost like your own personal agent, but it's your custom instructions, and you can upload documents that are really helpful for you. And therefore, you can get really tailored and specific responses to the questions that you might have. And that's also something that you can share with other people if you so wish too, so you can collaborate with friends or colleagues. And then the other thing that's really exciting that they offer now is called deep research. And this is functionality that if you ask it to research something for you, it will usually come back, if you haven't given enough instructions, asking several questions. Last time I tried this, I think there was 8 questions it asked me, where it was trying to clarify, did I mean this or did I mean that? If you want information on why, can you be more specific about whether you mean this, this, or this? So it asks you a set of questions, and then it goes away, and it goes away for many, many, many minutes, sometimes even up to an hour. And it'll eventually come back to you with a research report that looks like an academic report, or it looks like a white paper. And it's really powerful. It is quite an expensive part of the solution for OpenAI, though. So they only offer you 10 of those on the Pro plan each month, on the Plus plan each month. So it's important that you ration those and use them wisely. But I've found it really powerful. Anytime I've got a report to write, and it's important that I have citations, that I understand the key arguments and any thinkers out there on that topic, well, it works really well. Claude is one that you'll hear a lot of technical people talk about as being amazing. And that's mainly because it's very good at coding. It can create computer code. It can also run applications. So you can talk to it and you can say, create me a version of Space Invaders, but instead of aliens, I want it to have snails. And you'll see it generating line by line by line of code. And then in what it's called its artifact window, it will actually play that game for you. Now, you might think that sounds perhaps not useful to you in your personal life, but it's very fun, and it's certainly given you a glimpse of the future where you can create your own custom applications. So where it becomes useful is you can say, I've got some data. So for example, you can upload a spreadsheet if it isn't personal information and ask it to visualize that for you. And that same clever coding engine can create graphics and interactive demonstrations for you. It's very, very powerful. And the other thing that Claude's really very good at, and it's quite difficult to put your finger on it, but a lot of people comment on how empathetic it seems or how human the interactions can feel. And I think that's because they've really concentrated on making it feel like it has a high EQ, that emotional resonance and understanding. So you can have a conversation with it and it feels like it understands you and responds to you in a natural way, which is really helpful and helps you further that conversation with it. Now, Google Gemini, the big advantage for this one, if you're already a Google user, if you use Gmail and Calendar, Google Worksheets, if you use Google Docs, so the workspace more broadly, it will be integrated and increasingly integrated over time. Even if you use Google and Chrome and the search engine, it will understand some of your past search results as well, as due to come out soon. So it will get you more quickly than a service that doesn't understand you. So again, that helps speed up when you want to ask a question. It already knows a little bit about the context of who you are. It's also very, very good at being able to look at very large documents or lots of documents in one go. So again, you can upload several documents and then ask questions and query those, which is very helpful. It remembers as well for longer. So when you're having a conversation with any of these tools, there are only so many times it can go back and forth before it starts to forget the earlier part of that conversation. And the amount of what they call context that each of them has is going to vary. But with Gemini, it's the biggest. It has the biggest amount of space available to it for that. So that's helpful if you are working with larger documents. You won't run into any issues as quickly as you might on some of the other ones. And of course, Microsoft Copilot. Most people have used the Microsoft application suite at some point in their life. And if you work for an organization that uses Microsoft, then you may well be rolled out Copilot licensing at some point that allows you to work more interactively with your existing files or to create new files and have that history of your teams and your file structure, and it knows who you can share data with. So it's a good option for people who do work for larger businesses, specifically if they already are Microsoft. But what you'll find though is people do have their preferences. So I very much recommend that you have a play. That can sound daunting, but they are great fun. So you can create images with all of them. You can do what's called these days reasoning. So there's a mode you can select on where you can tell it to think more deeply, and it takes a bit more time to come back with an answer. So rather than it just generating something really quickly, you can see its thought processes of, well, does the human mean this and does the human mean that? So you can get a more fully formed answer back, which is really helpful. And you'll see that, just looking at a glance, it looks quite obvious here that you would choose ChatGPT. But it definitely does come down to personal taste. And I personally actually do pay for 3 out of the 4 of these currently, because I do get an awful lot of value from them. If I had to have my arm twisted and choose just one, well, whilst I'm still working, I think it probably would be ChatGPT because it has that additional functionality. Whereas if it was just for me in my personal life, I was only allowed one, I think I would choose Claude. I definitely find that it challenges my thinking, it helps me be more creative, and it's just more enjoyable for me to use. But there you go. I hope that's given you an overview, and you can see here what each of them do and what the differences are. So have a think. What tools do I already use? Am I a Google person? Am I a Microsoft person? Do I really want to stay at the forefront of the frontier research of AI, in which case I would definitely recommend either ChatGPT or Claude. Those two leapfrog each other, it seems, every month at the moment. And of course, are you going to justify paying a monthly fee? Or should you really just focus on the free tiers first? And that might change which one you actually use. Or maybe you would use all four and jump between them to see which one is best for you. I really hope that helps. Thank you.